When the weather starts to get cold and it's not feasible or safe to go kayaking, you're gonna have to store your boat. But the cold and harshness of winter can really wreak havoc on a kayak. In this video, I'm gonna give you the details on how to store your kayak properly when it gets cold. Hi guys, I'm Chris, and welcome to the Campfires and Kayaking YouTube channel. On this channel, I share my tips and tricks to help you live your best outdoor life. If this is your first time here and you're looking for more information like this, go ahead, scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to turn on notifications so you know every time I upload a new video. Storing your kayak for the winter is really important so that you don't ruin any of your spring kayaking plans. Let's go ahead and go over some tips for storing your kayak during the winter. Now, one of the best ways to store your kayak is inside and up off the ground. With extreme weather outside, this can cause a lot of damage to your kayak, so it's important to bring it inside, whether that's a garage, a shed, into your house, a corner in your bedroom, wherever you can bring it inside that's going to help keep it safe from the weather. Now, it's really important in this that you're also keeping your kayak up off the ground. You want to avoid laying your kayak on the hull flat on the ground. That uneven weight distribution is going to cause a lot of damage, potentially cracking and misshaping your kayak. Not only does storing your kayak up off the ground allow you the protection against the hull, but it also gives you more space to store things. Whether that's tools, jack stands, anything like that. I built my rack so it stays up off the ground. Gives me just a little bit more usable space that I wouldn't have had if it were laying flat on the ground. Now in this instance, you can either buy or build your own rack. There's plenty of different people that have created a kayak rack from PVC. But there's also the ability to buy something that you could hang on the wall and would hold your kayak up on the wall. One of the most important things when you're storing your kayak for the winter, and this doesn't matter whether you store it inside or potentially outside like we're going to talk about in a little bit, you need to make sure your kayak is clean. You want to take extra time to make sure that your kayak is clean and dry when you're storing it, so there's no potential for moisture, no rot, any sort of water damage, but it's also going to just make it easier for you come springtime. If you're looking for more details on how to clean a kayak, you can go ahead and check out this link right up here. It's going to take you to my video on how I clean my kayak. One of the key pieces of cleaning your kayak is putting some sort of protectant on it to ensure that you're maintaining the exterior of your kayak. I recommend 303 Aerospace. That's what most people use in the boating industry to protect their vessels. So I highly recommend this product. You can find links to all the products that I talk about down in the description right now. Now let's say keeping your kayak inside just is not feasible whatsoever. You can store it outside, but there's some special precautions that you have to take. First of all, you want to keep the kayak up off the ground. So this is going to prevent anything from having easy access to it. It's also going to prevent any condensation from building up inside of the boat. So it's really important that you're keeping it up off the ground. You also want to make sure that it's covered in some way, whether that be a little hut that you build over it, maybe a tarp. That's going to help keep anything from getting inside of it when it's snowing, when it rains, and it's going to help keep the sunlight off of it as well, which is going to help your boat in the long run too. Now make sure you don't store anything inside of your kayak. Pests are going to have direct access to your kayak when it's stored outside. Not that they couldn't get into it when it's stored inside of something, but they're going to have a lot easier access when it's stored outside. So it's really important that you're not storing your life jacket, maybe your seat, any of that inside of the kayak. All of these areas are nesting materials for pests. So it's really important you're taking those out, bringing those inside. Just because it's not feasible to store an 11-foot kayak doesn't mean you can't store maybe a few inches of seat. Again, it's going to be important to clean your kayak and then just maintain its cleanliness. It's going to help the longevity of your kayak overall. So question of this video, let me know in the comments, what way do you store your kayak during the winter? The most important thing is making sure that what you do in the winter doesn't ruin your spring kayaking plans. So take the time to care for your kayak now in this temporary stall of usage so that you're going to have a great time come spring. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.